really think that we should cover this in our next episode.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. I love this topic.
Yeah, I definitely agree, guys. That's a good topic.
Who the hell is that?
Grandpa Jenkins?
Who?
Hello?
Hi, is this Big Sexy the Heel in BG?
No, this is KFR Sportscast.
What?
What?
Why
Who the hell was that?
Sucker.
Oh man, every time. Gosh. I remember that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brian with KFR Sportscast, and I am kind of going over the very first official kickoff game here live on our channel. So thank you for joining me if you're awake. If not, no biggie. So yeah, we had a matchup of the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions, hosting the Lombardi Trophy, revealing their banner, and taking on their divisional rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this video earlier when I was very confident in this 7-leg parlay that hit, or that I thought was going to hit, but it didn't. Thanks, Jalen Carter. So, just to give you an idea of like how heated this matchup was before we even got a snap off. In the 2025 season, we had our first ejection, and that was Jalen Carter for ultimately spitting on Dak Prescott. But as if you guys watched the broadcast later, they broke down that it actually appeared that Dak Prescott had spit upon Jalen Carter first. But you know what? It's always the second guy that gets caught. So can't say that he was in the right, but also can't say that he was in the wrong, because I probably would have done the same thing. All right, let's go over some of these numbers and look at kind of like the displays of how these two teams played. For the most part, all these points were scored in the very first half. There was a hour and 5-minute weather delay during the game, so basically very tied up, very neck and neck throughout the whole thing. I have kind of all the things here. So it was 7-7 after 1, 13-14 after 2, and then so that would have made it 21-20 at halftime, and then they came out of halftime. Philly kicked a field goal, and those were the last points, and that was with 12 minutes to go in the third. Excuse me, it's pretty late for me. Anyways, so we got our final score 24-20. So let's look at these. We'll start with the visiting team. We'll start with the Cowboys. So Dak Prescott went 21 of 34, 188 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, with a rating of 76.6. So pretty decent. He had a 61% completion percentage. I don't want to say most of those drops, but a lot of those drops. Now, not even a lot. Some of those drops coming toward the end of the game from CeeDee Lamb, which is really uncharacteristic of him, especially some passes that were really meant for him, and drives that and passes that were in his hands and he absolutely could have caught. Dallas rushing, Javonte Williams, 15 attempts at 54 yards, so he averaged about 3.5 yards carry with a long of 11 yards, and he got in for the two Dallas touchdowns. Miles Sanders had 53 yards on 4 carries, averaging just over 13. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Just averaging over 13 yards a carry with a long of 49. And then Turpin had 2 attempts for 9 yards, and Dak Prescott had 1 attempt at 3 yards of rushing. And then on to Dallas receiving. So we'll just go over kind of like the top 5 Dallas receivers here. So CeeDee Lamb had 110 yards on 7 receptions with no TDs on 13 targets. George Pickens, making his Dallas debut, had a pretty respectable game. He had 3 receptions for 30 yards, and that was on 4 targets. And then Jake Ferguson had 5 receptions with 23 yards on 2 targets. So, on 6 targets. And then Turpin had 2 targets. And this is live. I'm not going to be able to edit this. Had 2 targets and 2 receptions for 18 yards. So, very respectable game. This was very much a shake the dust off kind of game for both teams. If you're like me and you had, I had Saquon Barkley, which he had a good game. He had a very decent game from what he did last year. I believe he ended up with about 20 points, about 20 fantasy points. But if you're like me, I also had AJ Brown, who maybe I haven't even looked. Probably had 1 point. So let's look at the opposer. So Jalen Hurts was 19 of 23 on completions. Had 19 completions on 23 attempts for 152 yards. So that's an 82% completion percentage. He had 0 TDs, 0 interceptions. He was sacked, it says, 8 times. That's crazy. So Dallas defense getting it done. I'm so sorry. So the Dallas defense getting it done without Micah Parsons. That was the big story coming into today's game. How can the Dallas defense hold up without Micah Parsons? And they did very well, honestly. So that first half, they were going tick for tack with scores, but then finally that second half, both defenses really just kind of turned it on. All right, so rushing, Jalen Hurts was actually the leading rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles with 14 attempts on 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gosh. I'm so sorry. I should have had like an energy drink. Actually, no, that's a lie. I shouldn't have. 14 attempts, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Saquon Barkley right behind him, 18 attempts for 60 yards with 1 touchdown. Shipley with 26 yards on 3 attempts. And then A.J. Dillon with three attempts for 10 yards. And then Dotson was the big story here for the Philadelphia receiving. So it wasn't even the big name. So it wasn't Smith and it wasn't A.J. Brown. So that just goes to show you that these other receivers were stepping up. So Jahan Dotson, 3 receptions for 59 yards. Dallas Goedert, 7 receptions for 44 yards. And then Saquon Barkley, who had a crazy, incredible one-handed catch. 4 receptions for 24 yards. Devontae Smith, 3 for 16. A.J. Brown, 1 for 8. And then Granson was 1 for 1. So, but these 2 teams, this was a tale of 2 teams that we kind of expected that this would be a close game. All of us said that the Eagles were going to win, but this was a game that we knew coming into. We didn't know really what to expect. Again, the big story with Micah Parsons not being a part of the Dallas Cowboys. Are the Eagles going to be going into that sophomore slump kind of thing? And what is this offense going to look like? So it was a good game, obviously, very close in scoring, and this turned into a very defensive battle in the second half. But I think moving forward, kind of what has to happen for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They need to shake the rust off. They've said in the offseason that, they're not focused on being the defending Super Bowl champions. They're focusing on, making it to the Super Bowl first and foremost, right? They're starting 0-0, well, now 1-0. So, and then for the Cowboys, I think, the Cowboys handled tonight very well. As much as I know a lot of people don't like the Cowboys, they handled tonight very well. Even though they didn't get the outcome that they wanted, they played aggressively. They played to their strengths, and I think, their defense will be fine. I still think it was a big mistake to let go of Micah Parsons, but I think from what they showcased tonight, their defense will be fine because after that field goal to go up 24-20, both teams did not score. And I'm pretty sure both teams did not really get close to the red zone. Which is very obvious because neither team kicked field goals. So they were both, just battling it between basically like the 30s, or the between the 40s. So it was a good game. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch like every single second of it, but everything that I did watch, it was a great game. It was fantastic. It's awesome to have football back. It's awesome to have, the season to be started. So look out tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers down in Brazil. And that is going to be live on YouTube. So for all you people that could not get tonight's game because maybe you don't have local channels or you don't have Peacock, tomorrow it is on YouTube. So if you have internet access, download the YouTube app or pull up YouTube on a computer and you will be able to watch tomorrow night's game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. Again, another divisional game. And maybe I'll do something like this again for tomorrow night. Who knows? This could be a fun weekly thing for me. Who knows? Or fun, week to week thing for me. So, but other than that, guys, hey, thank you for tuning in for watching this live. Again, I am sorry for all of the yawning. I am just tired. It is just past midnight now here where I'm at, and I am just tired. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this, and again, let me know what your thoughts on the game. Maybe you guys saw something that I didn't, because again, I didn't get to catch all the game. I'm just kind of going based off of what I saw. So maybe you saw something that I didn't see. So if you did, drop a comment below, and make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Until then, peace out.